driving to Pahrump right now because I'm going to go to Ash Meadows, but right over there it's a beautiful view of Mount Charleston with the snow from a couple of weeks ago that I got from a Sierra Nevada storm. Welcome to Nick's Adventrex. Today I'm heading to Ash Meadows National Wildlife Refuge, just east of Death Valley, but it actually is a part of Death Valley. After turning left onto Bella Vista Avenue from Nevada 160, this road will take me to Ash Meadows' southern entrance. Okay, this is the south entrance to Ash Meadows off of Bella Vista Avenue Road. So I don't know if this is actually the main entrance, but anyway, this is the entrance we're taking. When I drive through Death Valley to get to the Eastern Sierra, I always pass by this road, the south entrance road to Ash Meadows, and I'm so curious. I've never been here before, so I'm excited to check it out. Ash Meadows is one of over 550 national wildlife refuges across the United States. The National Wildlife Refuge mission is to preserve lands and waters for the conservation and management of fish, wildlife, and plants of the United States for the benefit of present and future generations. Heading down the gravel road, my first point of interest to take in will be Point of Rocks, where you can walk along a boardwalk that follows the natural spring waters found here in Ash Meadows. Okay, that's cool. So along this boardwalk, there's a place called King's Pool, and you can see pupfish in there. Okay, let's go find some pupfish. Not long ago, Ash Meadows was farmlands. Conservation efforts have reversed this area back to its natural landscape. Today is the day after Thanksgiving, commonly referred to as Black Friday, or it's Opt Outside Day. I don't know who came up with that, but REI always talks about Opt Outside on Black Friday. And I'm opting outside. I'm opting outside here in Ash Meadows. Listen to that. I'm always amazed to see water in the desert. You know, it's pretty much Death Valley where I'm at. And look at this. Look at this. Look at how crystal clear this water is. I see them. I see the fish down there. Okay, let me get out my zoom lens on that one. Some of Ash Meadows' native population includes 4 different types of fish that are referred to as living fossils, because these fish have been around since the time mammoths roamed this land, long before it was the desert it is today. These fish are endemic to Ash Meadows, meaning nowhere else in the world can you find them. Of these species are the Ash Meadows Armagosa pupfish, which travels throughout the waterways of Ash Meadows, which is what we are looking at here. The most endangered is the Devil's Hole pupfish, which only live in one particular and unique spot, the Devil's Hole Cave, which we'll be exploring shortly. It's just amazing, all those fish that are in there. So the pupfish are an endemic species to Ash Meadows. Can't find them anywhere else in the world. And a while back, their numbers were really low, like 100 or maybe even less. In the last few years, thanks to conservation efforts, their population has increased to about, I think, approximately 250. The whole water system, that underground cave water system, it's like a big old aquifer. It's all linked together. So I'm guessing that that water that we were just looking at is connected to the Devil's Hole Cave. And the history behind this is a few decades ago, there were farmers that were drilling down into the same aquifer to get water for their crops. And this action was creating the water table in the Devil's Hole to lower. And there is a shelf in the Devil's Hole where a bunch of algae forms, and this is where the pupfish get their food from. It's very critical to their survival, and because of the actions of the agriculture industry a few decades ago, it was impacting and putting the pupfish's existence. They were having an existential crisis. Let's just say that. The pupfish were having an existential crisis because of the farming agriculture community a few decades back. It went as high as the Supreme Court and said, nope, can't do that anymore. It's protected. It's an endangered species. And so we have Ash Meadows National Wildlife Refuge, and the Devil's Hole pupfish is protected. So we'll go check out the Devil's Hole here in a second. But I just wanted to walk around this boardwalk because it's amazing. I mean, you can hear water all over the place.
The holes in the limestone are where Native Americans ground mesquite beans into flour. The whole pod was ground up and pounded to powder with a blunt, sturdy piece of mesquite or rock forming the depressions you see here.
Mesquite pods were an especially important food source for native desert people. Scientists now know that mesquite flour is rich in calcium, magnesium, potassium, iron, zinc, and the essential amino acid lysine, which we cannot synthesize. Lysine is key to muscle building and aids in recovery from injury or surgery. This place is fascinating, and look at this view. Just stunning. So this is the Armagosa Valley. There is a farming community out over there somewhere. The mountains in the foreground, I think they call that the Funeral Mountains. And then just peeking out behind them, there's a mountain with a little bit of snow on it. I believe that is Telescope Peak in Death Valley. I'm going to head over to the Devil's Hole, which is also connected to the Ash Springs National Wildlife Refuge. And if you are not familiar with it, it is a fascinating place. There's all sorts of stories that happened over there back in the 60s. Two guys, I don't really want to dwell a lot on it because it's sad and this type of thing doesn't interest me, but I'll just briefly tell you about it. So a group of four guys in their early 20s went to go and check out the Devil's Hole. And I think it was before it was protected and roped off and guarded. Anyway, they went to go check it out, and two of the divers, so I think three guys went diving. And the short story is, two of them never came back. To this day, no trace of them. And then more recently, I think it was like 2016, a couple of guys went over there, and this is when the cave is now protected, and there's gates and actually security as well. They got caught. They were drunk. They had a gun. I guess they shot a sign, and one of them jumped in the pool. Fine, made it. Didn't get sucked down into the water and die or anything. But anyway, so they all got busted and fined and thrown to jail for a little bit of time. Anyway, enough about that. I'm here to experience the beauty and the wonder of this natural oasis, and it's so amazing. So back to the Devil's Hole. If you don't know what it is, there's plenty of videos on it. I will link them below. And you'll just be amazed at the water that is in this cave. It's a whole system, whole aquifer system that runs underneath the ground throughout the whole Armagosa Valley, and I believe stretching out into Death Valley. It's hard to imagine, but there's a whole water system underneath this dry, arid desert. I think it's the remnants of, Death Valley used to be underwater millions of years ago. It used to be a lake. I can't remember the lake's name, but our world is so fascinating. Blah, blah, blah. I'm rambling on. All right, heading back to the car to move on to Devil's Hole.
The ancient history of Death Valley, evidenced by limestone and sandstone in the mountains, indicate that between 500 to 200 million years ago, there was a shallow sea where Death Valley is today.
So we're headed towards the Devil's Hole, and there's two different entry points. There's one up on that hill over there, and then there's the main one, which is over here. I've watched a lot of videos on this place. I watched a dive team go down there with IMAX cameras, and they went up there to access the underground cave aquifer. And then this location with all the caged off fencing is where the research and preservation of the pupfish is conducted. Oh, look at all this security. It's like the Area 51 of the Fish and Wildlife System.
Another fascinating aspect of the Devil's Hole, because of this massive underground water system to which it is connected, the water in the Devil's Hole is susceptible to experiencing tsunami-like events when earthquakes occur all over the world. In 2012, when a 7.3 magnitude earthquake hit Mexico, the water in the Devil's Hole began to surge in at higher levels and out at much lower levels, over and over as a result. It tends to be quite sensitive to seismic activity along the Pacific's Ring of Fire. Unlike earlier where I saw numerous pupfish swimming, the distance the water is from the observation point made it impossible for my naked eye to see any fish in the water. I was only able to catch a faint blur with my zoom lens, which swam quickly out of frame.
Just amazing. Absolutely amazing. Yeah, there it is. In 1976, the U.S. Supreme Court took the additional step of establishing minimum water levels in Devil's Hole to protect pupfish against extinction, essentially restricting regional water mining. Okay, so there's another entrance point. So that entrance point, the divers and the people that protect the pupfish check their population levels. They go down there. There were stairs. That's where they go. And then this other entrance point, which is up on the hill, you have to actually rappel down a cave shaft in order to get to the water. And it's like, it's insane. It's really, really steep and tall. And I'll put a video down below so that you can see exactly what I'm talking about. I'm making another hiking video. Didn't even intend that.
Although Ash Meadows is outside of Death Valley National Park, there is one part of Death Valley National Park inside of Ash Meadows, and that is the Devil's Hole. Likely why there is a National Park survey marker here.
I don't know if you can even see anything. Oh, check this out. Survey marker. Awesome. National Park Service survey marker. Do not disturb. Can't really make out what that says. Okay. Yeah. It is so cavernous and deep you can barely see anything in there. Perspective. I think this is the actual access point. So if you, oh my God. Oh, wow. Oh, I can feel warm air coming out of that hole. Wow. They say that the water temperature down there is like 94, 96 degrees, and I can feel, it's like going into, so when you open up the bathroom door to the shower and you feel that steam and that warm rush of vaporized water, that's kind of what it feels like. Wow. Look at that. Oh, that's just amazing. You can even smell the water. Wow. Oh, that is so cool. But at the same time, it's really frightening because I know how steep that is down there. I mean, just looking over it gives me the creeps. Ugh. All right, anyway. That's amazing. Oh, wow. This place is just so unique. And then there's like a large body of water further down the path, I think past the visitor center, so I'm gonna have to check that out. I don't think the GoPro can pick it up, but over my left shoulder is Crystal Reservoir, a large body of water over there. And again, just amazing water in the middle of the desert. No fishing, no camping, no campfires. Warning for swimmers. Swimmer's itch, also called sacarial dermatitis, appears as a skin rash caused by an allergic reaction to certain parasites that infect some birds and mammals. Okay, well, we're not going swimming. Ugh. But I guess it's okay if you want to, just you might catch a parasite. Ugh. Nobody wants that. Oh, I see it. This is amazing. Oh, look at all these different birds that they have great blue heron here. That's, I had no idea. Now look at the ground. It's salt. Kind of reminds me of the ground over in Death Valley at Badwater Basin. Ooh. It is wet over here. Yeah. Once again, just astounded at what's here in Ash Meadows. Just a stunning, amazing place that not a lot of people know about. Also, it's free. There's no entrance kiosk where you have to pay a fee. Don't have to worry about having a national parks pass. Free to get in. I'm pretty sure the visitor center is free to get in too. That's our next stop, the visitor center. Okay, let's check out the visitor center. Hello. Thank you.
Staff rear devil's hole pupfish from egg to adult. Eggs are collected from both devil's hole, where a narrow limestone shelf supports the only breeding habitat for wild devil's hole pupfish. And when working with the world's rarest fish species, every egg matters.
So that's the Ash Meadows watershed that you see lighting up on the relief map. Oh, okay, so this one is lighting up the mountains. Right, there's the Funeral Mountains, and that light over there is the Spring Mountains. And then this is the Panamint Range. Yeah, at one time here near Ash Meadows, they were going to create this master plan community of Calvada lakes, but that did not happen. Action was taken to protect Ash Meadows and the pupfish. Wow. I'm just amazed by this place. I just keep saying wow. It's surreal to see such blue, clear water in the middle of the desert. So I got here at about 11:30. I'd planned to get here a little bit earlier, but the day after Thanksgiving I kind of slept in a little bit. This is definitely a full day thing. I'm trying to pack this all into kind of a half a day. I just didn't expect that there were so many things to see. I'm not even done. I kind of feel like I'm rushing it, which is a shame because you really shouldn't rush this place. Okay, so that was the visitor center. Now, the last stop is Longstreet Cabin. Okay, we're gonna go check out Longstreet Cabin, named because this dude, Andrew Jackson Longstreet, lived here. It was his homestead from 1889 to 1907. He built his cabin here while he was in his 50s, sold the property and another, both with water rights, for $30,000, which was a small fortune back in the day. Let's go find his cabin. Oh, okay, I see it. I see it just peeking up over this little ledge of land. Looks like there's a spring over there. Oh. Wow. All right, let's go explore a cabin. Okay, the door isn't very tall, so maybe he was a... Yeah, look, my feet are standing right on the wood, the door seal. Guess he wasn't very tall. This is nice. I like the wood beams. It's so cool. Shelves. And I wonder, is this some sort of a... No, not a fireplace. Small, but still probably bigger than a one-bedroom apartment in New York City. And look at his views. Okay. That's Longstreet Cabin. There he is in 1928. And then he had this. Beautiful little spring of water. Although, you know, with the water being 6 times the salinity of the ocean, you can't really do anything with it. I guess if you're making pasta, you don't have to worry about salting the water. There's that. They didn't really have desalinization back in the early 1900s and late 1800s, so... Thanks again for joining me on this adventure to Ash Meadows. If you liked the video, please give it a like. Leave me a comment. I love responding to comments. Share it. And if you really, really like the video, please subscribe. Every subscription counts, and it helps to grow this channel I call Nick's Adventrex. See you in the next adventure.